Hi guys, happy Thursday. The weekend's coming. It should be good. I hope it's good. So, alright, if you go to mysticamber.com and enter my code Ryan E, all cap locks, you get 10% off of everything that you want in the store. So, and you guys can get these little gems, and they're beautiful, and they're amazing, and I love it, and they're perfect with the full moon work and new moon work, and especially within this Sabbatic craft. So we're going to go on to part 2 of the Sabbatic craft, or Cultus Sabbati. So, alright, where did we leave off yesterday? It just gets better and better as you go on. So I mean, this is from the Children of Cain, so it's pretty interesting stuff. Alright, so here we go. Alright, now indeed there are still the keynotes of the tradition to which Chumbley belonged, known in the outer as the Cultus Sabbati. So, and they mark it out from less serious and rigorous systems of magical training. So it's more inner work. It's a lot of inner work, and I love it. I think it's incredible, and I like how it draws upon the actual historical and traditional witchcraft. So, and then it makes it work. So now, sadly, in our push-button age of instant selfish gratification, which is very true, this is all about the internet, having everything at our fingertips, the path of spiritual attainment does not appeal to many people because it is just too much hard work. This is where it comes in, that you have got to work your butt off for, your magical path. If you want, to develop these skills and gifts, got to work at it. I haven't done this for 28 years for nothing. It's taken me 28 years. So, but, I mean, it's so worth it. It is so worth it in the end. It really is. Few wish to devote several years to the study and practice of the craft and the art magical before they are accepted into a group, or indeed have the competent and discipline such a probationary period demands. So, I mean, yeah, that's very true too. A lot of people want to wait a year and a day. They don't want to study. It's your whole life you're going to study. You study until you go to the grave. Your tombstone will be your diploma, quote, or the kit. So, now in his later years, Andrew Chumbley was working within both a magical and an academic framework. I love this. So he had achieved a degree in comparative religion and philosophy, and at the time of his death was studying for a doctorate, which is amazing because he is putting, all of this together. He is studying the world religions, and I've studied world religions since I was little. I don't know why. I've just always been obsessed with religion. More so religion and spiritual practice, and the why am I going to go to hell for this? That kind of thing. And then I got over it. I woke up and realized, oh, there's no hell. That's just ridiculous. So, I like how he has, comparative religion and all of this under his belt. And then, basing his, his system that he came up with, off of traditional practices, it's just, it's really incredible. So, where'd I go? Oh, those close to him believed that if he had achieved that, this attention, he would have made a major contribution to the growing field of the academic study of magic. So yeah, it is being studied. Witchcraft and magic is studied archaeologically and academically all over. It is amazing. So, and you can find many of those videos and lectures on YouTube, the academic study and the agricultural study of witchcraft. So now, if he had lived longer, this writer believes that Chumbley could also have taken an essential role as a communicator and mediator, bridging the gaps of understanding that exists between the occult world and the academia. So, his encyclopedia knowledge of magical, religious, and folkloric beliefs and cultures from all over the world, and his vast experience as a magical practitioner would have made his role invaluable. So, this man did a lot of research, a lot of studying, years and years and years of study. And I love the agricultural part and the associations that he has with, other major world religions, and, it's just incredible. So sadly, it was not to be, obviously. Despite the academic and the intellectual side to his personality, Andrew Chumbley was first and foremost a man of the land, rural in both birth and character, and he actually fitted the archetypal image of the English cunning man or wizard. So, yeah, another archetype there. We have that archetype. We have the wizard, the magician. So that's a pretty good, an integration of, that card within us. It's pretty interesting, so I like it. Now, in addition, he also took on the difficult and challenging role of the man in black, so or witchmaster, and to a traditional covine. So this was a position he took very seriously, and he was painfully aware of its pitfalls, responsibilities, obligations, and burdens. So for him to take on that while undergoing all of this, what he studied, trying to get, he almost got a doctorate in, comparative religion. So yeah, it would take a lot, that would be a lot to, be a master, of the coven, or covine, whatever you want to call it, covine. And yeah, that's a lot to have, that's a lot to carry on your shoulders. So, but to his everlasting credit, despite many tribulations and obstacles placed in his way, it was a role he took to as if born to it. So on a personal level, Chumbley to strangers could sometimes appear aloof, serious, intense to the point of obsession. So those of us like the writer, who had the privilege of knowing him and calling him a friend, saw another side to his personality that existed beyond the public mask. So yeah, Chumbley had to put on a persona. That was the persona that he had to put on for the public. So he was taken seriously. There's a lot of different ways that you can take on, and you can project your persona to, whatever you want, whatever degree you want. So I mean, that's, very, very Jungian psychological, right? Yes, psychological Jungian psychology right there. That was a giant cluster. Alright, so he had a mischievous and sometimes quite wicked sense of humor and a love of life that was infectious. Ooh, I like that. So, yeah, it seems like the kind of guy that I would like to talk to. His wicked, sick sense of humor would be amazing. So it is true to say that he did not suffer fools or charlatans gladly. And that is the most amazing part right there. He calls them out, debunks them, boom, you're fake, you're fraud, blah, blah, blah. And that's why I admire this man very much. However, this was because he was skeptical and critical of the fakery he encountered on the few rare occasions when he ventured forth from his native Essex and encountered the popular London occult scene. Yeah, so we all know what that's about. Satanic panic, etc., etc. He despised those who by their words and deeds degenerated the craft and the art magical, and they deserved his censor and contempt. I love that. I really do. Free thinker. Didn't care what anybody thought. In contrast to this attitude towards charlatans and mountebanks, if Chumbley met someone who he regarded as sincere, genuine, and honorable, and who is seriously seeking the path, he would go out of his way to help them. That is basically what a lot of witches do. Cunning men, wise women, cunning women, whatever you want to call it, that is basically what we do. We go out of our way, up at all hours of the night, trying to, figure out, solutions, cures, whatever, curses, banishing and for clients and for people. So, to that extent, he was generous. That was sometimes quite touching. So, in the early 1990s, Andrew Chumbley had taken up the magistry of his own traditional witchcraft modality, the Cultus Sabbati. So this generic name referred to the emblegon of genuine old craft lineages from which he had received the formal passing on of power. He described the cultus as a body of magical initiates who practice both solitary and collective rituals, whose lineal traditions descend in both oral, I don't know what I wrote there, and textual forms from surviving 19th century cunning folk and ritual magic and practice. Alright, so the passing on of power, which would be through the books and the people that he was initiated by into his tradition, or into traditional witchcraft, and then he branched out and formed his own. So it's pretty interesting, and the ritual magic and the folklore behind all of this and the mythos. I mean, he really gets into Lilith and Cain, and Nama, which Nama is supposedly a granddaughter or daughter of Lilith. So we have that. And then we have the first, it's really, the Cain, the grandson of Cain. We have all of that. We have the first blacksmith, we have the first sorcerer, or the first cunning man, or magician, or witch. So it's really, really interesting, and it really does give you a lot of historical information that you can actually apply and, integrate into your craft. So you can be like, oh, okay, so am I practicing, this is what I'm practicing from what tradition, from what region. So it's very regional, like I said. So he goes on to say that it's practice, the spells and customs which generations past have bequeathed, such as healing, divination, toad bone magic, the use of magical knotted cords for magical purposes, words of power, and the use of witch bottles. So very, very much traditional witchcraft right there, traditional Cornish craft. So I mean, it does seem like he took a lot from the traditional Cornish craft, and he was, obviously born in England, Essex. So we see here that boom, that's what he was around. So that's like, my area is very steeped in folklore of the Potawatomi Indians. So we have that folklore to take into consideration when you're a traditional witch and you're out in the country, which you're a heathen or a pagan, which means a country dweller. So I don't need to explain all those terms to you guys, though, because you guys know. But yeah, it's pretty interesting how, regional. So that would be for me to take into, like, Chief Menominee. He protects us from tornadoes, a certain aspect or a certain, area of land, and it's pretty interesting, the folklore behind that. So his local folklore, and that's what you really got to do in traditional craft, is draw on your local folklore, draw on your local plant lore, whatever, plants or, whatever, growable. I don't even know if that's a word. That was unprofessional. But yeah, plants that are native to your area. So, where'd I go? Okay, so to this list can be added such historical and traditional, so we're going to get a little better here, magical practices, such as circle casting, ward cunning, and spirit congress. Well, it's basically, having, spirit communion. So the cultists also practice dual faith observance, derived from cunning folk and folk sources, including Latin charms, the use of psalms for magical purposes, and Bible or biblical divination. So yeah, that's basically, flipping the page, thinking of a question or something, on your mind. Flipping the page, and you're finding, you land on a page, and, oddly enough, it, synchronicity has it that you will land on a page that is going to help you. So as Chumbley pointed out, the old cunning folk, these practitioners of folk magic, who were called witches, pellers, or charmers. Pellers and charmers are, a Cornish term, peller. By outsiders, employed in the rituals of the predominant religious culture of the land, Christianity. So it was dual faith. They would practice their craft, and then you would see them go to church on Sunday. And then after that, after church, people would go to the local witch, peller, or cunning man, wise woman, and have their charms and things renewed. And as spring approaches, that's the time in Cornwall now that people are actually, going to be doing that. And it's interesting. It's a really interesting thing to do, to read about. Now, in the Middle East, folk magicians use Islamic beliefs and practices, and Oriental sorcerers employ Hindu and Buddhist iconography and rituals. So modern African religious and their cultic offshoots, such as Santeria, Macumba, Voodoo, Hoodoo, and Obeah, also combine ancient beliefs and practices with Roman Catholicism. So there we see Voodoo and all of that. Sorry for the eye roll. That hurt really bad. Yeah, you see the Catholicism being mixed in with that, especially the saints and the Loa. So, now a central motive in the Cultus Sabbati and the Sabbatic craft in general is the witch's flight to the Sabbath. From an esoteric viewpoint, Chumbley described it as an astral or dream connovation of the witches communing with a vast array of animal spirits, fairies, and otherworldly beings. So as the present magister of the cultus, Daniel A. Shulk has put it, by going forth upon the Via Oneria, the dreamway, to the brethren of the good, which the good would represent witches, that's what they were called sometimes, convene by night, and the wordless pact of the Sabbath is honored. So there is a lot of emphasis on the historical witches' Sabbath, of going to it. And you'll be given a lot of different insights and different kinds of plants and stuff that were used to actually facilitate astral projection and that kind of thing. Alright, so now Andrew Chumbley described the location of the witches' Sabbath as the crossroads of waking, sleeping, and mundane dreaming, a place that is literally between the worlds, as it is the compass or circle of art. So it is a place that can be accessed by the initiated practitioner in sleep, in dreams, or trance. So I do believe that you can access it not being initiated into anything, as long as you're dedicated to your path, you've studied, you know what you're doing, you have all of so many years of study, practice under your belt. I do believe that you can go to the witches' Sabbath without having to be initiated into any kind of tradition. So it's just astral travel, astral projection. So where'd I go? So this concept of the witch meat, the fairy connovation of humans and spirits, and the atavistic myth of the wild hunt forms the ritual and spiritual basis for the mythos, imagery, symbolism, and practice of the Cultus Sabbati and the Sabbatic Witchcraft tradition. So these elements reside in the realm of initiatic understanding. As Chumbley pointed out, the defining feature of the Cultus Sabbati was its specialized use of the mythos of the medieval and early modern European tradition of the witches' Sabbath as the, I don't know what I wrote there, as the idiom for its ritual practices. The whole complex of the imagery that is the Sabbath is essentially or esoterically understood as a temporary reality of ritual. So it's a different reality. It's between the worlds, literally between the worlds when you go to see the witches' Sabbath. So when it is perceived through praxis, dream as ritual, and spirit mediumship, its myriad forms yield new wisdom. So this symbology serves as a wholly opposite ciphers for the teachings on oneric flight, atavistic transformation, word cunning, divination. What is that? I don't know what I wrote there, you guys. So, ritualization, dual faith observance, and spirit worship. That forms the practical basis of the Sabbatic craft. So, that's the basis of the Sabbatic craft. And it's interesting, it's very interesting, but you do have to have a really big knowledge of plant lore, of your local plant lore. So it's very interesting because, around here we have a lot of, we have cotton, we have, corn. It's basically all corn and soybeans. So it's not too bad. Now, okay, I'm going to leave off there. Alright. Hold on, guys. Okay. So yeah, it's just really interesting how he, how he has integrated different traditions or elements into his Sabbatic craft. So, I mean, I really, really, really like what he has done and what he stands for. And I love it that he has to call out the charlatans and the, the frauds and stuff like that, which is really good because we should all do that. But I mean, and now, now if you say something like that, I mean, God forbid you say something because it's gonna, open a can of worms, and then you're probably gonna end up in court because you accuse somebody of something, and, it pissed them off, so you're mad, and then, you wake up and everybody's mad at you, so it does not matter. You go to bed, somebody's always gonna be mad at you, so who cares? But I just love what I'm reading, what I'm delving into. The flight to the Sabbath, it just seems incredibly amazing. Some of the flying ointments that we'll be going over here soon are very, very interesting. Andrew Chumbley had a professor, and they, kind of tested the witch's flying ointment. So the whole baby fat thing, very folkloric. So that's not, that's not real. It's just regular lard. It's not real baby fat. Folklore. So we have that going for us. But yeah, it's really interesting that their entire, experience with, it was like a 2-day experience they had. So I'm just kind of trying to remember what herbs they used, but I can't remember, but it's insane. So it's just a really insane type of archaic ritual that they did, and it was really weird. And they had visitations they visited, so that just shows that you do not have to be initiated to travel to the Sabbath, the witch's Sabbath to be specific. So much folklore, it's just incredible. Alright, let's do some coffee talk. I just love it. I love the folklore behind it all. I love it. I mean, I love the connection with Cain. And then, we have Lucifer, and then we have, kind of a Luciferian gnosis in there. So, it's really interesting. Like the self-liberation, that's what, that's kind of, another basis of, Sabbatic Witchcraft, or Cultus Sabbati. So it's really interesting. Self-liberation. So it's a very empowering. Yeah, I have felt very empowered reading it, and then humbled as well, because it's like, okay, I don't understand a lot of this, so what do I do? And then it just kind of, I just keep reading, and I keep taking notes, and it's very, very interesting. All right, so let's see. Let me see. Lots of magic happening this weekend. Full moon weekend. I love it. Alright, and Baphomet is actually Azazel. There's a connection with Azazel. He was originally a goat god. So it's going to be, coming more into, that, and Azazel's associations of, his, oh god, I think it was his Azazel's lovers. It gets very interesting with that lore too. We have a lot to do with Azazel and Asmodeus, or Asmodee, whatever you want to call it. Alright, Gustavo, have a great night. It's afternoon. Good afternoon, brother. Careless, have a nice day. Love from Mars. Oh, I love you. Alright, my Kim Lehman. Hi, my love. Hello, guys. Who else? Michelle Holler. Hi. How are you? Okay. Zelenog Oriskaya. I really hope I didn't butcher your name. Hello. Hi, Tina J. My love, how are you? Gustavo, coffee time. Yes, always. It's coffee time until like 5 o'clock. The second I get up until I basically wind down for the night. Who else? Lady Blind Wolf. Hi. Lupe. Hi, my Lupe. Everything came today. So I'm very happy. We can get the magic started tomorrow. It's gonna be great. Alright. Well, that's it today, guys. Mark Edwards, hello. Alright. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you have a good day. A good weekend to come. Lots of, lots of good information out there on Andrew Chumbley and his books. So, something very worthwhile, very, to look into. Who did I actually get? Oh, Lee Morgan, A Deed Without a Name, Unearthing the Legacy of Traditional Witchcraft. That's another good one. So, all kinds of historical craft, and it just really makes you think about your roots and, your own roots, and it's pretty interesting. It's really cool, so I love it. What do you guys think about the Sabbatic craft so far? We have the basis of it so far, so let me know what you guys think below, and make sure to click that bell so you get notified when I go live, because a lot of people don't. You can click personalize, and you can get all messages, or you can just get the ones where I go live. or when I post a video, or whatever, and then the subscribe button and the like, and that actually shows YouTube that this is persistent content, and it's not just junk. So, but I love you all very much. Please be safe and stay healthy, and all my love again, all the way from Venus. Always Venus. Someday I will have a backdrop and I will be broadcasting from Venus and all the way back down. So, alright guys, I love you all, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So, thank you guys for all your amazing comments and support. I love you all.